A $1 million funded account is worthless. Worthless. If you can't actually pull the money out. That's the part nobody tells you. Everyone online flexes the size of their funded account. I got a 200,000 account. I got 500,000. Cool. But the account size is not your money. Your money is what lands in your bank. So today, I'm not going to talk about getting funded. I'm going to talk about the only thing that actually matters. Payouts. Real money withdrawn in your account. And I'll walk you through a realistic roadmap that serious traders use to build toward $100,000 in payouts across a year from prop firms. But I'll be honest with you the whole way, because most people who try this fail. I'll show you why and what separates the few who don't. Let's get into it. First, you need to understand something. Prop trading is not normal trading. Normal trading is you find a setup, you buy or sell, you manage risk, you make money over time. Prop trading is a completely different game. It's not just buy here, sell there. It's a system of rules, and your real skill is learning how to extract money from inside those rules without breaking them. You need a plan for the whole thing. How do I pass? How do I get funded? How do I churn the account? How do I actually withdraw and keep withdrawing? Until the money hits your bank, treat it like it doesn't exist. It's not yours. It's a number on a dashboard that a rule can wipe out in 1 second. Get that mindset right, and everything else makes sense. There are two main worlds in prop firms: CFD firms and futures firms. Most beginners only know the first one. Let me explain both simply. CFD prop firms. This is what most people start with. You trade things like gold, indices like NASDAQ, and currency pairs. You trade on platforms you've probably heard of, MT5, CTrader, and similar. The accounts are cheap and easy to find. Futures prop firms, different world. Here you trade futures contracts, commodities, metals, indices, but usually not currency pairs. Different platforms too. And here's the big thing. Futures firms are generally seen as more trustworthy, and they pay out much bigger amounts. You've probably seen screenshots of people withdrawing 50,000, 100,000, sometimes more, in a single payout. That's almost always the futures world. But futures firms have one thing that makes them harder: a trailing drawdown. Your loss limit follows your profit up, which makes them less forgiving than CFD accounts. Nothing is free. So how can futures firms pay out $100,000 when most CFD firms can't? Because of how they manage their own risk. And once you understand this, the whole strategy clicks. Here's the key. On most futures firms, your first few payouts are capped small. Depending on the firm, your first 4 or 5 withdrawals might be limited. Maybe $1,000 at a time, maybe a few thousand. You could make $60,000 inside the account, but in those early payouts, you can only pull out the small capped amount. Why do they do this? Because it's a filter. They know that only a tiny fraction of traders, when we're talking a fraction of 1%, ever reach that 5th payout. Most blow the account long before then. So the firm isn't really risking much. They let the small early payouts act as a test. Survive the test, prove you're consistent, reach that 5th payout, and then the caps lift. After that, some firms even shift you onto a real live account where your orders go into the actual market. When you make money there, the firm makes money too. That's exactly why they can afford to pay the big numbers. So when you see a giant payout, understand what's behind it. A trader who survived the filter that almost everyone fails. Now, let's talk about scaling, because this is where people waste money. The instinct is to buy the biggest account you can. Resist it. Here's why with simple math. Say you have one big account and it goes into a $10,000 loss. To get back to even, you have to make that $10,000 back first. All that work, just to return to zero. Now imagine instead you split that into 2 smaller accounts. One account takes the big loss and breaches. It's gone. But on the second account, the same trading that would have just recovered your loss is now pure profit. You withdraw it. 80% of it lands in your pocket. Same trading, completely different result. One path recovers a loss, the other path pays you. So the principle is don't oversize and don't over-diversify early. In the beginning, focus on compounding. Scale up step by step, reinvest your payouts, and don't spread your money across 20 random things. Build the engine first, spend later. Okay, the actual roadmap. I'll keep it simple, and remember, you can adjust every number to your own situation and budget. Step 1. Start small. You don't need a fortune. A modest starting budget is enough to begin. The goal is to start the engine, not bet the house. Step 2. Choose accounts by one metric: leverage versus cost. This is the most important filter. Ask one question: how much drawdown room am I getting for how much money? If a firm charges you a lot for a tiny drawdown, walk away. The entire point of a prop account is leverage. Getting buying power, you don't have to fund yourself. If the deal isn't favorable, there's no point. Step 3. Pick the right account size. Bigger isn't better. On a lot of futures firms, the smaller accounts actually have a better profit to drawdown ratio than the big ones. A bigger account often gives you barely more drawdown room, but asks for double the profit target. Do the math before you buy. Step 4, you pass, then bank a buffer. Buy a few accounts, trade each one separately, and accept that you won't pass them all. Maybe half. That's normal. On the ones you pass and get funded, many firms have no consistency rule in the funded phase. So a clean, well-managed trade early on can build you a buffer. That buffer is your safety net. Step 5, then go slow, very slow. Once you've got that buffer, stop swinging. Base hits only. Small risk. Complete the minimum payout days. Withdraw consistently. Boring, repeatable small payouts over and over. Step 6, reinvest and compound. Take those payouts and roll them into bigger or instant funded accounts with better leverage to cost. Repeat the cycle. Small, consistent withdrawals from your active accounts, reinvested into more capacity. Do this patiently across a year, and the payouts stack toward that six-figure number. Not from one lucky account, but from a system, repeated. Now the part the hype videos skip. This is not a guarantee, it's a roadmap, and most people who attempt it will lose money, not make it. Here's the reality. Most people fail the challenges, often the large majority. And those failed challenge fees, that's how prop firms make a huge chunk of their money. Fail repeatedly and you can burn through thousands chasing a funded account. The early payout caps exist because almost nobody reaches the end of the filter. And none of this works without the foundation: a tested edge, real risk management, and a psychology that doesn't crack under pressure. A prop firm doesn't make you a trader. It rewards one who already is. So before you spend a single dollar on a challenge, be honest about whether you're actually consistently profitable yet. If you're not, this roadmap will just drain you faster. And the golden rule, always: never use money you can't afford to lose completely. Not rent, not tuition, not money you sent home. Quick recap. Funding means nothing. Payouts mean everything. Futures firms pay big because they filter hard with early payout caps. Don't oversize your accounts. Smaller and compounded usually beats one giant account. Choose by leverage to cost. Build a buffer, then go slow and withdraw consistently. Reinvest and repeat. And above all, skill comes first. The roadmap only works for a trader who can already trade. If this gave you a clearer picture, do 3 things. Subscribe. I break down the real mechanics of trading every week. Grab the free Asian Session Trap Strategy PDF in the description. It's the disciplined edge everything here depends on. And drop a comment. Would you go the CFD route or the futures route? Let's talk it through. I'm Fortune Forge. Build the skill, protect your capital, and play the long game. See you in the next one.